Hello, I'm Bretton, one of our MCAT tutors here at Inspira Advantage, where we help students get to med school and other professional programs. Welcome back, everybody. Today we will be discussing important sociological topics that you may encounter on the MCAT. We'll be exploring stereotypes, self-fulfilling prophecy, stereotype threat, prejudice, ethnocentrism, cultural relativism, and discrimination. To help you understand these concepts better, I've come up with some great examples for each of these topics. So let's dive in and start increasing your psych-soc score. Beginning with stereotypes. These occur when attitudes and impressions are made based on limited and superficial information. For example, imagine a student named Lisa who assumes all athletes are unintelligent because of the few encounters with athletes who struggled academically. This stereotype is not based on comprehensive data, but rather on Lisa's limited experiences and assumptions. Next, we have the self-fulfilling prophecy. A self-fulfilling prophecy happens when stereotypes lead to expectations, and those expectations then create conditions that lead to confirmation of the stereotype. For instance, a teacher believes that children from low-income families have poor academic performance. So teacher is thinking that they have low performance. This then leads the teacher to spend less time with these students because, well, they're poor and they're going to fail anyway. And because the teacher's spending less time with the poor students, well, of course, they're going to fail. They're going to perform worse. And the self-fulfilling prophecy has happened. The teacher has made it happen. Next, we have the stereotype threat. This refers to the concern or anxiety about confirming a negative stereotype about one's social group. Imagine a woman named Sandra, who's aware of the stereotype that women are not good at math. When taking a math test, Sandra may become anxious about the possibility of conforming to this stereotype, which could negatively impact her performance. So she has been told girls are bad at math, takes a math test, and is really stressed while taking that math test, and fails. This is kind of similar to the self-fulfilling prophecy. Next, we have prejudice. This is an irrational positive or negative attitude towards a person, group, or thing prior to an actual experience. For example, Jane has never met someone from the country X, but she has heard negative stories about people from that country. As a result, she forms an unfavorable opinion about anyone from country X without ever have met them. Now, this is different than discrimination because in prejudice, there's no action against the person. It's just thinking a certain way about them. Speaking of different countries, let's talk about ethnocentrism versus cultural relativism. Ethnocentrism, shown here on the left, refers to the practice of making judgments about other cultures based on the values and beliefs of one's own culture. For instance, an American tourist visiting Japan may criticize the Japanese for eating raw fish, deeming it unhealthy or gross. This judgment is based on the tourist's own cultural preference and does not consider the cultural significance and dietary practices of Japanese people. Now, cultural relativism, shown here on the right, is the recognition that social groups and cultures should be studied on their own terms. So a classic example given is an anthropologist studying a tribal community in the Amazon rainforest practices cultural relativism by trying to understand the community's beliefs, customs, and social norms without imposing their own cultural values or judgments on it. So in this example, they're being offered a cricket. And normally, if the person had an ethnocentric view, they would say, ew, no, I don't want to eat a cricket. But the anthropologist is there visiting, trying to learn about the culture. And they're going to say, you know what, even though I don't normally eat crickets, while I'm in this country, I'm going to try a cricket, darn it. And they do. And finally, we're going to end with discrimination. So this occurs when prejudicial attitudes cause individuals of a particular group to be treated differently from others. Treated is the key word here. There is a behavioral component to this discrimination. For example, an employer may refuse to hire a qualified candidate simply because they are from a specific racial or ethnic background. This action is based on prejudice and results in unfair treatment of the individual. This is different than prejudice because there is an action harming another individual, or it could be benefiting another individual. As future doctors, it's essential to be aware of these social psychology concepts to better understand and address the diverse needs of your patients. Also, in the short term, it's very important to get a high score on the psych-soc section. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.